The vineyards of Hanzell can be seen from downtown Sonoma. They face to the southwest, and they're very old. These are actually the oldest continuously producing Chardonnay vineyards in California, and these are the oldest Pinot Noir vineyards in North America. I'm here really at the beginning of harvest. You can see these are their oldest vines. These are called the ambassador vines. The original owner, Zweibecker, was the ambassador to Italy under Truman. Bought this property in the 50s, planted Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. Truth, it's not the ideal site because it's a little hot for them, but they've been producing wine since the late 50s and people love them. That's Sonoma Mountain across the way, and up there in the distance that's the Bennett Valley. They're at the end of the notch of the Sonoma Mountain. So here is really classic Sonoma Valley. The original winemaking building was actually a slightly smaller copy of a winemaking building from France that the original owner especially liked. It was built here in the 50s. They were a San Francisco family. It was designed that it was essentially a gravity-fed winery, and that the tanks were upstairs and downstairs was for aging the wines. These are the original vines, these upper ones, these Chardonnay, and then further down the valley, down the hill, are Pinot Noir, planted in the 50s. So they get very little production out of here, about half a ton per acre, but of very high quality. Hanzell was the combination of the two owners' names. The wife's name was, I believe, Hannah, and the family's name was Zellenbacher. Come up off of Lomita Drive, and when you go up a very narrow path through a gateway, work your way up all the way to where the winery is, and you go behind it and you come to this fairly recent addition, which is the visitor center or office, though actually most of the tasting is actually done in the winemaking building after a tour of the vineyards and the winery and the cave. Here is the upper entrance to the cave. The cave is a relatively recent addition. It actually goes in and then goes down and comes out over by the side of the winery facility, which is actually a little below this site. This is the upper section of the winery building. All that noise, of course, is the equipment running. This is the top of the tanks, and across the way you see the smaller tanks. They're moved up there with a fork truck. There's the bladder press. Like I said, the tanks you can see that are moved around using a fork truck. It gives them a lot of flexibility. Over here is the chute where the grapes are dumped and then sorted. And as you can see, this really is perched up on the side of a hill. This is the original winemaking facility upstairs. Stainless steel tanks. The high ceilings, so there's room up there for cranes. And of course, a tasting table for when you bring your friends over. And of course, there is the spectacular view looking south towards Carneros and Point Reyes, that bearish mountain, that brown mountain in the distance.